Join us on a visit to Peru. Nearly 3,000 miles from where you're sitting right now, these children struggle with malnutrition. Their parents don't have access to fresh vegetables. Dairy products like milk and cheese are a luxury.
They have no food, nothing to eat. So we're looking at how we can overcome that problem today, not next week, but today.
As for clean water, the people here in the community of Pedregal Grande, outside Peru's much larger city of Piura, don't have access to any water that isn't contaminated with Hepatitis A and a host of parasites.
No access to healthcare, no access to running water, no access to sometimes electricity.
Basic sanitation facilities, even something as simple as a playground. They don't have these things either. And yet the people here are warm-hearted, quick with a smile, and full of hope. In this place, Table for All is making a difference.
It's just a great seed that's been sowed, and so we're going to take it and try to move it to the next level where we feed them, and then after feeding them, we help to introduce them to Jesus.
Actually, this is a joint effort with Olive Branch Ministries based in Austin, Texas, and Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center. Among the volunteers in the three groups are doctors, nurses, medical students, a pharmacist, really a host of health professionals who serve alongside various support staff, from translators to even a few teenagers.
People come to us and say, I found this problem yesterday. Is there something we can do to help them? And we think we've got Table for All, and so we brought them in. They have two young men that are here and start working on how we can work together to make changes and have things going even after we leave this area.
As the week-long free clinic prepares to open, activity revs to a fever pitch, while in corners around the building, plans are taking shape for a community tour. The volunteers want to know who they're serving, the needs they face, the way help can best be delivered so it will make a lasting difference.
It's very eye-opening.
9 miles of walking today?
9 miles of walking today.
The needs are visible at every turn.
And it motivates us to come up with solutions to try to address these issues.
Table for All is a board-driven nonprofit staffed with American and Peruvian volunteers. On this day, its team members trek from the clinic to the small farm that opened in May.
We're building a fence. Back there is just like this one over here behind you, okay, that goes all the way around.
There isn't much here, not yet, but there's momentum and a drive to succeed.
We can do something, but at the end it's on them too. So they're part of the solution.
So I'm hopeful. It gives me hope, but it takes time. Changing behaviors really does take time, so that's kind of where I fall on it.
On this trip, the crew has 5 days to move the ball down the field. By week's end, the goal is to build a playground on this empty lot, to learn how to make bread, and to set up a hydroponic shed for growing fresh veggies. One of the big problems here in Pedregal Grande, and there are many, is anemia, a chronic iron deficiency that means those in its grip don't have enough red blood cells to carry oxygen to tissues throughout their bodies.
Mainly the kids. They have 40% anemia in this town.
These healthcare providers will be tackling that issue this week. They'll also be keeping their eyes out for those who will be the first recipients of Table for All's new food deliveries. The bread that will eventually be distributed will, of course, make a difference, but we're talking about special bread with extra iron. They call it blood bread.
And we found 3 ladies in their 70s and 80s who have no family at all and are totally dependent on neighbors.
In fact, as of August, 10 area families are now receiving protein-filled meals 3 times a week.
Follow up.
Before we go any further, you need to meet Summer and Van. They're based here, effectively as Table for All employees. And the 2 young men are taking time today to bake. Clearly not their strong suit, but they're cranking. Roger, I feel like we're seeing something exciting here. First batch.
It is. This is the beginning of something we hope will make an impact in this community.
Summer refers back to a TikTok video he found, and presto, the place starts feeling like a real kitchen. An hour later, success. Well, if you're grading on a curve, the first buns are burned on the outside, doughy in the middle, but hey, it's a start. Okay, live and learn. The next day, after staying up till 3 in the morning, the can-do crew of 2 has worked out the kinks. Roger proudly shares Table for All's second batch of buns with clinic staffers.
This is impressive.
Now we're talking.
But everybody loves it, tastes great, it's a good first start.
Tests have already been run to determine hemoglobin levels in the local population. So from here, 70 children from the neighborhood will begin receiving iron-enriched bread 5 days a week for 90 days.
This, what you just saw, is the beginning of this new adventure, this new program that we have.
Their blood will be tested again after that 3-month period, and if iron levels go up as expected, the program will expand.
It's the seed that's been sowed over this past year, and then it's the seed that Olive Branch has sowed in here in the last 4 years. And so all that is just what you're seeing today is things that are productive and solutions, finding solutions to their problems.
As the week goes on, there's more success to report.
Okay, Roger, I'm sorry, can't help it. I'm impressed.
The new playground? Funded by a grant from Texas Tech, it's now up and running, with kids coming by every afternoon to enjoy the swing set and the latrine that was put in the last time volunteers were here. A family who serves with Olive Branch provided money for that project. The hope is that as locals adopt new hygiene habits, overall community health will improve.
We've only here for a short time, so we try to get everything done we can.
Another win, Roger and the guys have just about completed work on the new hydroponic shed.
Roger, this is a lot of work since last we were here.
With the week nearly over, construction work on Table for All's back fence is progressing nicely. Once it's complete, the farm will go from tending 5 goats to 30, and that means more production of goat's milk, cheese, and butter.
People around here don't have much, so it's a struggle sometimes to find food. So we are providing food, but you have to protect it.
Okay, it's time to head home, back to the States. Some of these folks have gotten a taste for service in Peru that will inform their education. Others, who may not get a chance to return, will be changed in other ways, by the smiles they've traded and the lives they've touched.
That's what life's about, is solving problems.
The Table for All team, they'll be back to advance the work begun here not that long ago that holds such promise. Think about it. From humble beginnings, what will be here in a year? In 5 years? Table for All. Striving for sustainable solutions.